Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah wa barakatuh. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. How we doing, everybody? I know it's been a while since I posted a video up on the channel. I've been working on some things. Louis, relax. But I had to post tonight. We got some pretty big news. Charlie Kirk has been shot in the neck and killed, basically assassinated. It wasn't like a random shooting. They say he was hit from like on top of a building from like 200 feet away or something like that. So that was a planned hit. I actually did see the video. I don't advise anyone else to go watch the video. I don't know why I did. It's horrible. It's graphic. Charlie Kirk was an interesting character, but honestly, I don't know how I feel about his passing. I will say I feel sorry for his family. He has 2 kids and a wife. And I will say I feel bad that he died the way he died so publicly. And on it was just graphic to see if you go and watch the video. But before we get too sad about Charlie Kirk, my opinion of him really stems from a lot of comments that he's made about black people. He didn't like black people. He didn't like Palestinians. He didn't like Muslims in general. This is just a fact. I don't want anybody to get butthurt because he's dead now and they feel like certain things shouldn't be spoken about because the man is dead. And I agree that he shouldn't be disrespected. I'll say that. But I am going to go to Twitter. And we're going to look at some of the things Charlie Kirk would say. Get out of here, Chloe. Trump has already put out his little, I guess, sending his condolences or whatever. But this could cause like violence. This will be considered political violence because Charlie Kirk, he's not a politician, but he is considered a political commentator for the right. That's probably why he doesn't like black people. Let's listen to what Trump got to say first before I get into the Charlie Kirk clips. Inshallah.
To my great fellow Americans, I am filled with grief and anger at the heinous assassination of Charlie Kirk on a college campus in Utah. Charlie inspired millions, and tonight, all who knew him and loved him are united in shock and horror. Charlie was a patriot who devoted his life to the cause of open debate and the country that he loved so much, the United States of America. He fought for liberty, democracy, justice, and the American people. He's a martyr for truth and freedom, and there's never been anyone who was so...
Trump is right about that. Now, I personally don't consider Charlie Kirk any type of a martyr. But it's funny Trump used those words too. Because they usually use the words martyr in a negative connotation when they're talking about us, the Muslims. But they use it in a positive light when they're talking about themselves. But he's right about that. He was killed in front of a lot of people on a college campus in a graphic way. Honestly, it reminded me of the Malcolm X assassination. That's what it reminded me of. Not in that he's a great person like Malcolm X, because I wouldn't even compare the two. But in the way he died on that stage. That's how graphic it was. So I would see how that can lead to him being considered like a martyr or somebody that the right is going to hold as a form of symbolism for them.
So respected by youth. Charlie was also a man of deep, deep faith. And we take comfort in the knowledge that he is now at peace with God in heaven. Our prayers are with his wife, Erica, the two young, beloved children, and his entire family, who he loved more than anything in the world. We ask God to watch over them in this terrible hour of heartache and pain. This is a dark moment for America. Charlie Kirk traveled the nation.
Is it though? It's not like the president of the United States was assassinated, or it's not like it was a congressperson or something like that. This was a right wing political commentator who said a lot of things that a lot of people didn't like. And I don't think he deserved to be killed, because nobody deserves to be killed like that for their political ideas. But I don't know if it's a huge loss for America.
Joyfully engaging with everyone interested in good faith debate. His mission was to bring young people into the political process, which he did better than anybody ever, to share his love of country and to spread the simple words of common sense. On campuses nationwide, he championed his ideas with courage, logic, humor, and grace. It's a long past time for all Americans and the media to confront the fact that violence and murder are the tragic consequence of demonizing those with whom you disagree day after day, year after year.
So what about what the Israelis are doing to the Palestinians right now? Oh, are we going to get any comments about that? Because, they have differences, and the Israelis demonize them. They've been doing that, and now they're just murdering them all. We don't hear the same rhetoric from the President of the United States. Honestly, this is one man. This is one person. We got thousands dying in the Congo that nobody's talking about. Thousands dying in Palestine. Like,
in the most hateful and despicable way possible. For years, those on the radical left have compared wonderful Americans like Charlie to Nazis and the world's worst mass murderers and criminals. This kind of rhetoric is directly responsible for the terrorism that we're seeing in our country today, and it must.
It's very weak of the President of the United States to blame rhetoric on the reason Mr. Kirk was shot and killed. And he's going to call it terrorism. I mean, if you want to call it terrorism, call it terrorism. They use that term for everything now. So I really don't give that term any more weight. But is it rhetoric? Because I thought words may never hurt me. But you have violence politically on both sides. This isn't just a one-sided thing. But I don't think Trump came out or would come out and say that it's the rhetoric of the right that's causing violence against those on the left. But he would say that, the other way around, because that's going to be the new agenda. This is another reason for them to try to quell free speech. But they're not going to crack down on guns, which in my opinion would be the safer bet,
Stop right now. My administration will find each and every one of those who contributed to this atrocity and to other political violence, including the organizations that fund it and support it, as well as those who go after our judges, law enforcement officials, and everyone else who brings order to our country. From the attack.
Did Charlie Kirk bring order to this country? Sorry, he did not. And this is not a bashing of Charlie Kirk. He's a dead man. You know, Allah knows best what's going to happen with his soul. But the truth is the truth, you know? And Trump is, he's getting all fired up and he's saying all this fiery rhetoric about we're going to catch everyone. And I'm just wondering, are you? She might not. Like, who knows? I'm hearing some conspiracy theories already about
attack on my life in
who may have really done it.
Butler, Pennsylvania last year, which killed a husband and father, to the attacks on ICE agents, to the vicious murder of a healthcare executive in the streets of New York, to the shooting of House Majority Leader Steve Scalise and 3 others, radical left political.
You see how violent America really is? And he's just, you know, he's going to blame it all on the left. Radical left. Brother, just cut it out. You'll be out of office in a few years. And we all know you won't care about what's going on the right or the left. So, like, and I don't understand why politicians do this. Why do they continuously just blame the other side? Like, that doesn't help progress at all. Like, get to like the crux of the matter, like the guns, the weapons that are available. The fact that you can buy a weapon, get on top of a roof, and then shoot somebody 200 feet or 200 yards away. That's the problem to me.
Political violence has hurt too many innocent people and taken too many lives. Tonight, I ask all Americans to commit themselves to the American values for which Charlie Kirk lived and died.
No, we will not do that. We will not commit ourselves to the values that Charlie Kirk lived and died for. We can't do that. And I'm going to show y'all why. I'm going to show y'all why. Come on, let's see what Charlie Kirk's talking about here.
When I first heard this story,
These guys not know this was taking place.
so I've been to Israel many times. The whole country's a fortress. When I first heard this story, I still had the same gut instinct that I did initially. I find this very hard to believe. I've been to that Gaza border. You cannot go 10 feet without running into a 19-year-old with an AR-15 or an automatic machine gun that is an IDF soldier. Right? The whole country is surveilled. But I think some questions need to be asked.
He's talking about October 7th. He's talking about, in this video, he's talking about how he thinks October 7th is an inside job. You know, he thinks they let it happen, the Israelis, which we all know they did. Like, so, and some people are speculating, oh, maybe he was saying too much.
Was there a stand down order? Was there a stand down order? 6 hours? I don't believe it. Israel's the size of New Jersey. When I took a helicopter ride from Jerusalem to the Gaza border, it's 45 minutes. 6 hours. They're live streaming the killing of Jews.
Ooh, think about that. Let's go to the next one, y'all. I'm gonna let you guys come up with your own idea. And of course, I'm not gonna show the video where he was assassinated and killed. I would never do that. These are clips of commentary that he would make, so we can see what the character of this person really was.
You are race obsessed. I am not race obsessed.
Like, they're killing white people in the streets in South Africa. It's literally a mini white genocide. You see a black pilot, you wonder, boy, is that person there because they earned it or because...
You see a black pilot and you wonder, is that person there because they earned it or because they were placed there? Now, I don't know about the rest of y'all, but wallah, when I see a black pilot, nothing comes to my mind but, oh, it's a pilot. Only someone who has a racist mentality would think, oh, black pilot, is he capable of flying a plane? Would I be wrong for saying, oh, it's a white pilot? Is he capable of flying a plane? Because I trust the capacity of my people more than I trust the capacity of yours. I don't know, but look, let's continue.
Because they were placed there. What percentage of young blacks have both a mom and a dad raising them? Blacks in America. Black women married the government and divorced the men. Why do...
Now, on that one, right? I'm half and half with him, you know? Because more black fathers need to be in the household. But he also stated the reason why, like one of the main reasons why the women married the government and divorced the men. This is actually a fact. When you know the history of social services, if women sign up for social services, they can't have a male in the house. That was the rules. I never understood that, but that was the rules. So, and I guess it made sense too, because if you have a man in the house, why do you need to be getting money from the state? But the way he said it and the way he uses it is as an attack and not just stating a fact, you know. So
Do blacks have a broken family? Why is it that black America is one of the only populations, that and Native American populations, that have not been able to overcome such evil, horrors, and injustices? Blacks...
redlining, systematic oppression, and racism, systematic murder, keeping us out of the things that you guys act like we have such easy access to. This is why.
Commit more crimes than whites do.
You talk about race more than the Grand Wizard of the KKK. Right.
Mr. Kirk, he had a lot to say about black people. I will say that. So this is what I remember him for, the way he spoke on black.
Comes up, takes out a knife, stabs her to death. 14 times he was previously arrested.
And yeah, I saw that video too. That was a horrible situation. And I'm inclined to think that this brother who killed that woman on that train he had to have a mental issue or something, because he stabbed her for no reason. I don't think they knew each other. She was minding her business. He was just sitting behind her. He got up and he stabbed her in the neck. And he needs to be dealt with also. So what Charlie Kirk says, watch how he tries to equate criminality to being black when it has nothing to do with him being black. He's just a criminal and a murderer. That's all it is.
4 times, 14 times, he comes up and just stabs her to death. Situations like this are a nearly daily occurrence in our cities. We do not have to live this way. You can create a society and a culture where you can get on a train or a subway and not be Irina Zarutska and get stabbed to death in the neck because some black criminal decides.
Yeah, criminal decides I'm gonna go do it. Why couldn't it just be some criminal or some murderer or some psycho? Because that's what he is. I wouldn't care what race of people he come from. So, but the fact that he makes that a point, it just shows his bigotry towards black people. So
14 times he was previously arrested. And all of the Koch brother funded liberal criminal justice BS is the reason why guys like him are still on the streets. 14 times. Let's put this back up on screen. And Irina Zarutska, why did she come to America? She was fleeing violence in Ukraine. It turns out it's more dangerous.
Why does she need to flee Ukraine? Oh, that's another discussion, right?
And subways in Charlotte, North Carolina than a war zone in Ukraine.
I think this is the last one. So we're going to watch this last one right here. And this was shared by Dan Blazarian. He says, Charlie Kirk figured it out. Rest in peace. There's the volume at. Okay, there it is.
The exact kind of hatred against whites that they claim to want people to stop using against them. Now, I don't like Jewish communities have been pushing the exact kind of hatred against whites that they claim to want people to stop using against them. Now, I don't like generalizations. Not every Jewish person believes that. But it is true the Anti-Defamation League was part and parcel with Black Lives Matter. It is true that some of the largest financiers of left-wing anti-white causes have been Jewish Americans. They went all in on woke, and it wasn't just ADL. It was some of the top Jewish organizations in the country that have done that. In fact, we have seen this with the recent retreat of Jewish donations that are no longer going to be administered to colleges, right? Mark Rowan, Leon Kopperman. Can we get that full list? It's very powerful. The part of the, so that's
Charlie was doing a lot of talking. He was doing a lot of talking. And he wasn't disrespectful towards, other people the way he is disrespectful towards Black people. But nevertheless, he was doing a lot of talking. And no, it wasn't Black people that killed him. I'm almost 100% sure that it wasn't any Black people that killed him. If it turns out that it was somebody from my community that did this, I would be very taken aback. Also, I'm praying that the person who did this has nothing to do with Islam, because we don't need them having any other reason to try to paint Islam in a bad light. But I'm about 80% sure, 90% sure that this has nothing to do with Islam either. I'm thinking this is going to be a white man, either from the left or the right or the middle, who knows? Or it could be another man who thinks they're special. It could be them, somebody else working something, who knows? It could be state sanctioned, anything. It could be the CIA for all we know. But I know it's a tragedy. I will say that. But he was talking a lot. And condolences really go out to his family, friends, his children, because none of us want to lose a loved one, especially in that manner. The video is on the net. It's forever going to be floating around. His children may grow up to see that video. And that's just a hurtful thought in itself to think about, to be honest.
That's totally true. And by the way, Tucker Carlson reinforces this. So I'm going to it was quite a day on the internet. Tucker Carlson was interviewing Candace Owens. We have Candace Owens coming up next hour. And Tucker Carlson mentions that Jewish Americans have primarily been financing cultural Marxist ideas. We said this, by the way, last week, and people came after us.
We were on top of it.
We actually said it in a different way. We said, I'm glad that Jewish Americans are reconsidering their financing of cultural Marxism. And people misunderstood it intentionally and slandered us as being anti-Semites. But listen to this. Tucker Carlson is completely correct by saying this, that the philosophical foundation of anti-whiteness has been largely financed by Jewish donors in the country.
So there y'all have it, y'all. Those are the clips of Charlie Kirk that I wanted to show y'all tonight. Let me know what y'all think in the comment section about this latest turn of events here in America. I'm going to get off the stream and get some rest. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah wa barakatuh. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad.